Hello, all you dice rolling fanatics, and here's wishing you all a happy new year. To start 2025 off the right way, we're going to slow things down a bit. No need to blast off at the beginning of the year. We're going to ease into things with a delicious curry. For fans of Persona 5, we're taking Sojiro Sakura's famous recipe and using it for our own D&D session. Not only is this dish easily scaled, curry is the perfect meal to experiment with. As you can see here, there are loads of ingredients and flavors that go into making a curry. In fact, there's a few ingredients missing from this list because the few times I've made it, I've leaned more on the spicier and earthier side of things and took some of the sweetness out. So for this dish, I'm omitting the use of an apple and yogurt. That being said, curry is a pretty simple dish to make as long as you leave yourself time to prep. Mincing onions and garlic, grating ginger and carrots, measuring out all the spices does take time, so make sure you plan ahead. The curry itself takes about 90 minutes to cook, and the more time you can give it, the better. But pairing this with rice turns this meal into a no-brainer for a D&D session. Because of all the ingredients, I will be sure to put the proper measurements in the description, so be sure to check that out. Without further ado, let's get started. Heat your pot up with a little oil and toss in your onion and let them sweat for about 5 to 7 minutes. Meanwhile, on another burner, start browning your beef. Let it cook on each side for a couple minutes and then turn it over. It's okay if it's not completely cooked through, we just want it to brown it at this stage. Conversely, and probably something I should have done, is you could always cook your meat first and put it aside and then start with your onion mix. Might make things a bit easier to manage. Once your onion has softened and browned a bit, throw in your carrots, garlic, and ginger and let them cook for a couple of minutes. At this point, it's important you manage the heat of your pot and don't let things burn. So if you have to ease down that heat a little bit, go ahead and do so. Heading back to the beef, just keep an eye on things and flip when necessary. Once it's done cooking, you can put the meat aside and clean your pan because we're going to use this to toast our spices. Now you can elect to dirty another pan if you want to make a quick exchange, but I hate a messy kitchen. No wrong answer here though. It's your kitchen, you do you, boo. Once you have a pan ready, pop your flour in on a medium to low heat and cook for a minute or two until it starts to change color, and then throw in the rest of your spices. You'll notice I mixed everything at once, and to be honest, I'm not sure how much of a difference this makes, but certain recipes do specify flour first, so I wanted to mention it. The important thing is to cook at a low heat so it doesn't burn. All we want to do here is cook it enough so that we have a nice fragrance and aroma filling in the air. While the spices are cooking, be sure to keep an eye on your onion mix. Make sure that's stirred and controlled heat so it doesn't burn. Once your spices are ready, go ahead and add them to the onion mix and start to incorporate. Add your red wine. We're going to start making a sort of a roux at this point. Nothing pretty to look at, but this will thicken our base quite a bit. Once you're done adding your wine and mixing, go ahead and start to slowly add your beef stock and start stirring. And once that's completely done, throw your beef back in along with the bay leaf and bring the pot to a simmer. Once it begins to simmer, reduce the heat to low and cover the curry and let it cook for at least 90 minutes. After that time is up, your beef should be nice and tender. If not, feel free to give it another 20 to 30 minutes. Once it is tender enough, then you add your chocolate, your Worcestershire sauce, coffee, butter, and honey. Stir, let it cook for another 15 minutes. And if you're going to make rice, now's the time to do so, as your curry can sort of just sit there and relax and hang out while it waits for you to prepare any last-minute side dishes. But there you have it. Sojiro's slightly altered version of curry. I've had this 3 times now, and each time I notice a new flavor that stands out, and each time I've made it, I've altered the ingredients from the original recipe. That's the fun part of curry, experimentation. If you want something a little hotter, add some more chili or even cayenne. If you want something sweet, lean into the cinnamon and nutmeg a little bit more, or add some more additional honey. When I hear people say they don't like curry, my guess is they just didn't find the right one for them. But if you and your buds are fans, give this dish a shot for your next session. I don't think they'll be disappointed. As always, I'm your host, DM and cook Justin. Thanks for watching, and Happy New Year.